Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting of the Urban Design Commission to order. We'll begin with a roll call.
Matt Guillory, Jorge Charnico, Dylan Bradway, Betsy Runstetter, Donna Cervantes,
Present.
Tyler Holmes, Lee Peoples,
Present.
Ben Sellers,
Present.
James Barnum. You have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the minutes from the October 26th meeting. Do we have any changes or comments?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next item, cases withdrawn. We have none of those. The next item, continuance requests. We have none of those. We have one item on the consent docket. Case number 16-44, 1200 Northwest 25th Street. Does anyone want that pulled up for consideration?
Move approval of the consent docket.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent docket is approved. Cases for individual consideration. The first item is case number 16-45, 329 Southwest 26th Street. Do we have staff to present?
Yes, cases 6A and 6B are adjacent properties on Southwest 26th Street in Capitol Hill. They are both very old residential structures. They're uninhabited, have been for some time. The owner reports and the photographs document a lot of significant disrepair, and the owner has cited concerns with vandalism, keeping trespassers out. Coincidentally, our department just this past summer did a survey of historic properties in Capitol Hill area in preparation for a possible National Register district designation. And so these properties were captured in that survey. The structures at 329 Southwest 6th, which is case item A, were identified as not contributing to what might be the historic district. The house at 331 was identified as contributing. There wasn't much more information than that about it. But one thing that staff observed about these houses was there's only 3 or 4 residential structures left in that block. So if we found it hard to argue that removing them would disrupt the urban character of that part of the city. But the applicant is here, and she can answer more questions. So staff recommended approval on both of these.
Any questions for staff before the applicant speaks? Okay. Please sign in and state your name for the record.
My name is Rachel Ramirez, and I am representing the Templo de Alabanza Church, who owns the properties. As she was saying, those properties are dilapidated, and at the same time, we would like to request your permission to demolish those properties so we can create some parking space. Alongside that area is Harvey. We own also Hudson. We also own those properties, and we'd like to restore some of those properties, and with the demolition of these said properties, it would allow us to have parking for what we'd like to do.
And this application is just for the demolitions. It's not for the proposed parking lot. That would come back.
Yeah, that would come.
Separate.
I will be back. Let's put it that way. Any questions? Are we good?
Any questions from the commission? Okay, thank you. Anyone in the audience would like to address this? Please sign in and state your name for the record, please.
My name is Norma Erickson, and I'm the owner of Grill on the Hill, which is the property to the north of this property. We have dealt with this for over 2 years, calling the police over and over. It's a drug house. I mean, they drop drugs, somebody else comes and picks them up, there's needles in the alleys. It's just a nuisance. People have been there and they broke out our customers' windows and we've had to pay for them. It's just completely dilapidated, and they just keep breaking in. They board them up, they break in, they tear it up. We call the police. It's just a complete nuisance in the neighborhood. They just really need to approve this and allow it to be taken down.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
This is pertaining to the next item. Do you feel the same way about that property?
Oh, yeah, I just seen all of it because, I know there's some structures that are white that aren't like that. They've started breaking into those too. We're not opposed to those being left there, but the houses that nobody's occupying, the windows are all broken out and they're not even livable. They're beyond repair.
Any questions from the commission? Anyone else from the public that would like to speak about this? To keep the record clear on this, I think we should consider 6A, even though they were presented together, let's consider 6A first.
Absolutely.
So is there any discussion on the commission?
I just wanted to weigh in. I did meet with the applicant regarding this property, and I usually feel strongly about trying to preserve certainly residential structures whenever possible. But in this case, I agree, due to the location, that there's no adjacency to any other residences, due to the condition of the structures, I'm in support of this application.
Anyone else on the commission have any opinions? Or
I'd like to move approval.
we have a motion? Do we have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 6A is approved. Now I suggest we move on to item 6B. Any discussion about that item? And if it wasn't clear to those here, I assumed your comments were about 6A and 6B. So if you'd like to speak about 6B, or any member of the public wants to speak about 6B, please do so now. Any discussion or a motion?
I just wanted to point out, or raise a question. I was not aware that this one had been named as contributing to the district. Do you know any more about what that means, or what the...
Yeah, I'm real unclear why it was distinguished from the rest of the houses on the block.
Yeah, the condition is somewhere. One of the I guess difficult things about these, and you can tell from the pictures, the proximity. They're built so close together. It's difficult to get in there to even do make improvements or make this really a viable residence. You can see on that picture now on the screen, as mentioned by the applicant, that white structure on the left side of the house is a cinder block building. There is intention to improve those into other uses in the future. So I think that this demolition will free up the area for more parking for that future use, which I'm sure will come back. I did want to ask, and I had talked to the applicant. You can see in the picture there's some nice mature trees on this parking lot, or these two residential lots, and I don't know if this can be part of the discussion, but it would be of some benefit if we have to lose two homes to at least save those two mature trees.
I will have to talk to our demolition, but we will try to do our best to try to save the trees, per se, that will not affect the other parking on the side, because I know that there's a tree behind the house in question, but the ones that are right by the street of 26, I believe, we'll try to see what we can do to make sure to keep them there. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Any other questions? Are we good?
Other questions? Did you have something?
Did you want to point out there's a third structure, just so they know in the future?
Yes, I realized when we put the application, there's a third structure on Hudson that we also would like to request for it to be, at another time, for it to be demolished, demolished, thank you, because it also is also a nuisance. Right across from that alley is like a boxing thing for children, and we want to make sure that that also, it's dilapidated as well, and so we want to make sure that's demolished. But I have to come back and request I didn't realize it wasn't on the application this time around. So, but we do have plans, like I said before, those white buildings behind, around there, before the church used to use it for Sunday school. So I know that it has a bathroom and it has different things that we would like to restore or renew. So we're trying to do our best to bring families and the community and make it more inviting.
Any other discussion or motion from the commission?
Move approval of the application.
Second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that is approved for demolition. The next item is item 6C, case number 16-47. This is 1742 Northwest 16th Street.
This is in Plaza District. It was an old service station building. It's actually proposed as an annex of some to Empire Slice House. You may remember in the last year we approved a tent structure for the outdoor dining. Apparently that's not even enough. They need an auxiliary location to make pizzas, and that's what they're proposing. Most of the work to the building is interior, but they do need to add a walk-in, and that wouldn't necessarily be a problem, except there's a requirement for maximum setback from the abutting street. So staff agrees that the back of the lot is the right place to put this walk-in, not to require it to be on the street side. We'd rather the walk-in be toward the back and leave that vacant swath for a future, more meaningful addition in the future. But it does require a variance because it's a requirement.
Any questions from the commission for staff? Is the applicant here? Anyone that the applicant like to speak?
Dave Lebetter on behalf of the owner, and Rachel Cope, the actual owner of Empire Slice House. And our proposal is to erect a walk-in enclosure and storage on the southeast corner as opposed to the southwest. The other considerations to take into account, the utility connections for electrical and the gas are on the southwest corner. So the major utility relocation, there's also a well inspection port probably about 5 or 6 feet to the south of there, which we'd have to adjust to also.
Any questions for the applicant? Don't see anyone else in the audience to invite to speak. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve the application.
All right, and I would, just so the record's clear, let's do item E1 to approve the application. Do we have a second?
That needs to be with condition that they get the variance from the side yard setback.
Make a motion to approve the application with condition that they obtain a variance on the side yard setback.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this is approved.
Wait, the other,
You need a recommendation to the Board of Adjustment.
I thought we were doing those together. Okay.
No.
So item E1 is approved. Now item E2, the recommendation for an approval to the Board of Adjustment for a variance.
So moved.
Second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that is approved. We have no other business today. Communications, we have several items that have been administratively approved. Lisa, can you remind me how we go through these?
Yeah, it's a report out. By the time you see them on the agenda, they've already been executed, and several months ago, we actually started publicly noticing administrative approvals at the time they are approved. So all of these, their 10-day appeal period has expired, and adjacent property owners have been notified. So a couple of signs. I think maybe the most one of the most notable things is the 607 Northwest 28th that was approved earlier this year. It's moving forward. They got their parking, on-street parking approved at Traffic Commission. And then the one at 500 Northwest 28th was approved 2 years ago, received an extension. So it was exciting to see both of those still alive because they were pretty significant projects.
Any comments from the commission or questions about these? The next item would be item B, comments from planning department staff.
Reminder of our commissioner training on December 9th. We're about to send out the final agenda, and if you haven't already, accept or decline the invitation so we'll know how many people to expect, but it's going to be action-packed. I can tell you that. There's a lot of information being covered. So please, we really worked hard to make it worth everyone's while to take off work and to come. So we're having real breakfast this year, real breakfast, program, and lunch. So
What does that mean exactly? Never mind.
it's a real breakfast. So that's all I'm saying.
All right, thank you. Any comments from commission members?
This is in regards to the next meeting on December 28th. Will we have quorum for that?
Yeah. We took a poll at the last meeting, but I don't remember what it, at least Betsy's not here, Jorge's not here. We'll look back and we'll reschedule.
I'm here, but I don't remember what other.
There were, we do have cases. We did get cases. We did get applications.
Okay.
Yesterday was the filing deadline. We did get applications. And we'll try to reschedule for the week prior if necessary.
Okay.
It would likely be on an entirely different day and time, just a heads up.
All right, well, the final item is the next meeting date, which is subject to change, it sounds like. Seeing no other items on the agenda, I will adjourn the meeting.
Awesome. Good job, Lee.
Plans for those